Hello, hello, hello. This is your heart coach, Adelai Brown, and we're getting ready to go live on the air, Kinetic High Five with Heart Connections. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to this video and others, and share with other people you know. All right, all right. It is 12:33, and you are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, right here on KineticHighFi.com. It is time for Heart Talk. Did you guys enjoy our midday mix? I know I did. I was dancing and having a good time in here. The Amory song, this one thing, it got me. I love that song. And I hadn't heard it in a while. I wanted to share it with you guys. That's one thing I love about being in here. I get to express myself in music and through Heart Talk. It's absolutely awesome. And I thank you guys for riding this ride with me and being on this journey with me. This segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. You can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com. You can also get your tickets to the upcoming Help Save Me brunch, the Mother's Day brunch. It's open. If you don't have to be a mother to attend, but you can get your tickets there. You can also, if you enjoy our inspirational quotes of the day, you can also order a copy of Anchored, Be Blessed Daily Volume 1, which is the book that I get those quotes out of most of the time. Want to quickly remind you guys to check me out live on YouTube. If you have access to the internet and you can watch me live, you can go to bit.ly/heart connections. The Heart Connections is the name of the channel, but you can go to bit.ly/heart connections and you can see me live there. And if you enjoy the segments of Heart Talk and you want to go back and listen and soak it all in for yourself, because a lot of times we have to listen to things over and over before they really start to set in. I've been listening to some tapes from Joyce Meyer for the last 2 weeks now, and I've just been listening to the same things over and over. And it's like every day I'm hearing something new. So I encourage you to go back and check out the YouTube channel and listen to different sessions that we have, different segments of Heart Talk, so that they can help you through some of those difficult areas in your life. This segment of Heart Talk, today we're talking about overcoming the past. We talked about confronting the pain because many times we can't overcome because we will not confront. We will not come face to face with the pain that is hindering us and reminding us so much of our past. Now we're going to talk a little bit about shame and guilt. I want to talk about that because I feel like shame and guilt are oftentimes big barriers and blockages to us overcoming the past. Many times we cannot overcome the things that have happened, the memory of what happened, because the lasting effect, the emotion that we now attach to it is just too much. Maybe you did something that you're not proud of, you don't feel worthy, or maybe you struggle because maybe you're a lady, maybe you're a woman and you had an abortion in your past, or maybe you're someone who may have gotten in trouble before and had to go to jail for something. Maybe you hurt someone in the past and you don't you're ashamed of it. You feel bad about it. Well, let's look at it, because shame and guilt were two big things that were holding me back from expressing myself and being able to overcome the difficulties that I had experienced in life. One of the things about my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, it really helps you overcome the past. It helps you confront the past so that you can overcome it. That's the whole idea of the transplant process. One of the reasons why we don't overcome is oftentimes, well, two of the reasons why is because of guilt and shame. Shame is defined as a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Okay, that's a shame. A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. And a verb of a person, action, or situation to make someone feel ashamed. These are some of the definitions of shame. Regrettable or unfortunate situation, a regrettable or unfortunate situation or action. You hear people say, by you I've known a lot of women to go through this. You got pregnant so you brought shame on your family, or you did this with this person, you brought about shame, things of that nature, loss of respect or esteem, dishonor. All of these are definitions to shame, a loss of respect or esteem, dishonor. Let's look at guilt. Now, when you hear those things, who wants to be as we move on to guilt, I want you to be thinking about this. Who wants to be associated with a loss of respect or esteem? Who wants to be known as dishonorable? Who wants to be known as a regrettable or unfortunate situation? Many people, many of us who were conceived in iniquity, the way David said, those of us who may have came into the world and our parents weren't married, maybe you are the product of adultery, or maybe you're the product of rape, or you're the product of people doing things they didn't have any a relationship that should not have been, or so it seemed. Obviously, it was supposed to be because you were supposed to be here. But if we don't ever know the truth about our situations, then what happens is we begin to live our lives through a lens of shame, and we adapt that as part of our character, as part of our identity. Now let's look at guilt. And Brene Brown is somebody that talks a lot about guilt and shame, and I love her. Just listening to her, it helped me be able to put words and be able to verbalize a lot of the feelings I had about my past, because I couldn't quite put my finger. I knew how I felt, but I couldn't express myself. And see, shame and guilt will do that to you. It will cause you to not even be able to express yourself. And you cannot overcome something that you can't confront, that you can't acknowledge is there, or confront is there, or even express what you think about it. And when you're ashamed of something, that's how you feel. You've lost honor, you lost esteem, you regret things, you feel bad about it. And the thing about it is, you internalize it. When you have shame, you've internalized all of those emotions and made them synonymous to you. And that's what's so toxic about shame. Let's look at guilt. The fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. The fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. The thing about Brene Brown said this very well, and I encourage you guys to go look her up. Brene Brown, just like Adelai Brown, Brene Brown. She talks about guilt and shame, and she said that guilt is doing something bad. Shame is saying that you're bad because of what you did. So if you're guilty, you're like, yeah, I'm guilty. I did it. But you're not, you acknowledge that you did something wrong, but you're not identifying with being wrong internally. You just acknowledge, hey, I did it. So if like, for example, if you were to, if I left the jug in the refrigerator and it was empty, and somebody goes to get something to drink and they pick it up and they're like, who left the empty container in the refrigerator? I'm guilty of it. Hey, I'm guilty. I did it. That's it. It's done. The problem is, many of us, the guilt of whatever happened, we take it to the next level, and it now develops into shame. And it's not that, oh, I made a mistake, oh, I messed up. It is, I am bad. I am a mistake. Do you get the difference? Is that making sense to you? That's the difference between guilt and shame. So many of us are not able to overcome our past because of the shame. We can't overcome something because we're ashamed of it. Many people are ashamed of how many partners they had, sexual partners they had before they got married, or before they gave their life to Christ, or before they had a spiritual awakening. Many people are ashamed of their background, their past, like their family and friends, and many people who may have come from a background, maybe they live a very affluent life now. They've very educated, or they've done things, how people say, self-made. So they make good money and they're doing good things, but their family has not completed those tasks or reached those feats in life. So you may be living in a gated community, but your family lives out in the country someplace, and everybody, it's just a completely different way of life. And many people are ashamed of that. They lose respect. They don't want to honor their parents. I know of a situation that happened very near and dear to me, where there was a child that was just ashamed of their mother and did not want her around because of how she dressed. She felt like her mother did not dress classy enough for the crowds that she was in. She was ashamed of her mother. But this is the thing. If you're in a crowd where you're ashamed of your mother, then you're in a crowd where you're ashamed of yourself. And all your mother is doing is reminding you of your insecurities and your guilt. You don't need to be upset with her because of her style of dress. You need to start to look within and overcome what happened in the past to cause you to think that that's bad because your mom dresses that way, or it's bad because you're from that particular neighborhood or from that community, or it's bad because you like to eat a certain thing, or whatever the case may be. We should not be ashamed of ourselves and not ashamed of the things that we went through. I know that I've heard this, and I have went through this myself. And this is something that I'm looking forward to. Our show Conversations with LJ and Adelai. We're going to be talking more about this as well. But I feel like many people have been in situations in the past where they've been manipulated and violated, and they feel guilty. They're like, yeah, I was wrong. I participated in it. But then there's a shame attached to it. Like, I should have never been involved in that. I should have never went along with that. And I just want you to know that you don't have to be ashamed, especially those of us who have been touched inappropriately as a child. People don't understand how much childhood molestation and rape really impacts a person's character and personality, their heart and soul, who they think they are. And there's a lot of shame associated with that. It's and back to what I was talking about confronting pain before, being a Black woman in there. When you see certain things and the way people say things and some of the little stereotypes that have been put out, people are ashamed of the color of their skin, and people are ashamed of their ethnicity and background. And this is the thing, guys, we cannot wait for somebody else to come and help us not be ashamed. Overcoming the past and overcoming the pain means that we have to confront these thoughts and confront these lies and be able to begin to tell ourselves the truth about these things. That is not easy. It is definitely not something that it is definitely not something that is, most people want to do. That is one of the reasons why so many times we that's why we hold on to so much of the baggage, because of the shame. When you're ashamed of yourself and you regret things and you don't feel honorable and you're embarrassed, you stay stuck often because you're afraid to shine light on yourself, because you feel like all you're worthy of is darkness. And you may never physically say it, but it's an understood subconscious thing that has to be corrected. And that's why we have Heart Talk. I thank you guys for being here. We'll be back with more. In the meantime, let's not hold on to this shame and pain. Let's let it go. You can do it. We'll be back at 1 o'clock with some life hacks and some more information I want to share with you guys. And of course, we have our last segment of Heart Talk at 1:30. But think about it. What's been bringing you that secret shame, hidden guilt? Listen, Jesus is the lover of your soul. He knows about it. Think about it. Holding back the years, simply read, Heart Connections, KineticHiFi.com.